Today's episode of She's All Fat is brought to you by FabFitFun. FabFitFun is a seasonal subscription box with full-size beauty, fitness, fashion, and lifestyle products.
The Spring Editors box includes products like a Free People eye mask, beauty and skincare products from Kate Somerville and Tarte. Ooh. Also, many of our favorite celebs, including Khloe Kardashian, Bethany Frankel, and Ashley Simpson are huge fans. I commit to this wording.
Also me. If you're like me and you want to be just like them, then get the box. Check out www.fabfitfun.com and use the code SAF so you can save $10 off your first box, making it only $39.99.
Fatties, you deserve a treat, so treat yourself to FabFitFun.
I don't need some dude sweating on me telling me, 2 more, you gotta feel it. I don't ever want to feel anything.
I think some
don't touch me.
Love that. I hate it.
Not for me.
Calling body posse sisters, hush those diet culture whispers. We like your body big or small, rolls and ripples all for all. Sit on down, it's time to chat. She's all fat.
I'm Sophie.
I'm April, and this is She's All Fat,
the podcast for body positivity, radical self-love, and chill vibes only. This week, we'll discuss unplugging, #Hagrid Hannah, and exercise, baby.
I can't.
Anyways, what are you obsessed with this week?
So this week, really excited. Summer 2018 is well on its way. So the tunes have arrived. Number 1, Drake has a new banger out. It's called Nice for What.
You know hard times, doing overtime for the last month. Saturday, call the girls, get them gassed up. Gotta hit the club, gotta make the ass jump. Gotta hit the club like you hit the motherfucking angles. With your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you're showing off, but it's alright. And you're showing off.
It's a feminist anthem.
I haven't listened to it yet.
It's good.
By the way, I got like several tweets being like, thank you for saying you don't really listen to music. I know that like it makes me feel like I'm weird, but I don't either. Just want to say I see you, all my other neuroatypical people who can't listen to music and have conversations. It's hard. I'm left out of the human experience.
Damn. Well, listen, you don't listen to music. I didn't watch Harry Potter. We're both doing our best.
First of all, it's read. Just shows how much you know. Anyways.
Were they not films?
I mean, there's a difference between people who just watched Harry Potter and people who read it. There just is.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I saw some tweets that were like, Cardi B told us to like get ours, and then Drake was like, yeah, and men suck, so I don't have to do anything. Is that the right vibe?
Yeah, well, yes. So the Drake song is really interesting because he's always doing the thing where he's like, I'm a feminist too. He always has a lot of lyrics where it's like, girl, I know you're only a stripper because you're trying to put yourself through college, which is like, okay, Drake. But the lyrics, I will read you some of the lyrics for this song because it really resonated. Had a man last year, life goes on. Haven't let that thing loose, girl, in so long. You've been inside, know you like to lay low. I've been peeping what you bring into the table. Working hard, girl, everything paid for. First, last phone bill, car note, cable. And then later in the lyrics, in the chorus, he says, you have to be nice for what to these N-words, meaning like you have your shit together. You don't need to be nice to these dudes who aren't shit, which hard agree. And then lists more bills that she's able to pay on her own. But like,
So this is like opposite bills.
Can you? Yeah. Didn't think about that. Interesting. And he put out this cool video by this super talented lady director who I really love. The song is super fun. Like the beat is amazing. It makes me excited for summer of me like sitting at the beach, not getting in the water, and just like lightly twerking on my own. Next song recommendation I'm obsessed with. Cardi B put an album out. I'm sure you've heard about it if you're on the internet. Invasion of Privacy. It's so much fun. Literally, the album is like fun to listen to. A lot of times albums either feel like work or they feel like they're trying to, especially in like pop R&B, trying to like align with the trends or whatever. And Cardi B literally just put out an album where it's like, this is me and my friends having fun. And all the lyrics about how she thinks she's great. And I'm like, me too, girl. My favorite song on it was our pump up song for this week. So it'll be in the show notes. It's called Ring with Kehlani, who is another iconic hip hop star right now. So Ring is just about how this dude isn't calling her and he needs to make her phone ring. He needs to make it ring.
Totally.
So I love the whole album. Ring is my favorite. Can't wait for Baby Barty. Like, can't wait to see that child. My final obsession this week is my bowl. So
A real bowl, not a drug bowl.
not a drug bowl, even though 420 plays it. My sister and I just moved to a new place, which we are super excited about. It is heavily slanted. I will talk about that in a future episode. But we did a thrift store dive this weekend, trying to come up with cool DIY projects. # ballin' on a budget. And I found the most beautiful bowl that I am convinced in my heart is originally from Anthropology, because it reminds me of it. But it's like this perfect bowl where it's like purple, gold at the end, and
I really
inside.
like it.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm really trying to live the Pinterest lifestyle.
You are. It's just slightly
Slightly to the left. Yeah, which is fine with me because, again, a deal's a deal. But yeah, I'm really excited about my bowl. For some reason, the bowl felt like the finishing touch of the room. It was like once I had the bowl and I put my earrings in the bowl, it just felt like, wow, I'm a woman now. This is a woman's room. This is an adult woman's room.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I'll put my bowl in the show notes. No, we'll have a photo of my bowl in the Patreon post. Y'all gotta see this bowl.
Send it to me later.
So those are my obsessions. What are you obsessed with this week?
So number one, I'm obsessed with my mom. I went.
Hi, Margaret.
Hi, Margaret. She'll hear this in 10 months. She's behind on the apps. I went to visit my mom in Phoenix this weekend. We went antiquing near the shop that A.D. Bryant's mom owns.
You're such a stan. Oh my God.
I love her. I'm sad that she's in I Feel Pretty, but I'll look beyond it because I love her.
We all have to look away sometimes.
Yeah, so we went antiquing. I got some milk glass.
Hell yeah. Sophie loves her milk glass. Wait, have you posted photos on your Instagram of your case? Ugh, it's so beautiful.
I got a really cool globe from the 80s that the bottom part it's a wooden thing, and in it has 3 dials. One of them's a compass, one of them's a barometer. I don't think those parts work. You can plug it in and it lights up and it still works, and then there's 2 dials towards the base of it that you turn to set latitude and longitude, and then a pinprick of light points out and tells you where you're looking.
Oh my God. That is
so
wicked cool.
I'm really excited. It's an educational globe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways.
Amazing.
I'm obsessed with my mom. We had fun. That. And then also, I've been having a lot of anxiety recently, more than usual.
Not the normal lifetime amount. Yeah.
Not the normal baseline amount that I always have, where it's 15% of my CPU.
Nice.
It's just
also
anxiety.
Me. Yes.
I have this sensation of just built up buzzing background thoughts that I've just not thought through because I've pulled out Twitter. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just letting it pile up until I can't think in complete sentences anymore.
And you can't even remember what the thought was.
Yeah. And it's just busy. So I deleted all my social media apps. I have to log into everything through the Safari app on my phone if I want to do anything. So I do it a lot less.
Yeah, that's work. No.
And the only one I have is Instagram because I don't really spend that much time on Instagram. I like doing stories. I feel it's sharing feels different from scrolling Twitter.
Yeah, totally.
So I did a bunch of reading this weekend also. I was Googling different things about this, ways to restrict phone usage or ways to, because I don't really want to get a flip phone. I don't want to go the full.
No.
You know what I mean? I need my maps.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of articles. There was one that I found really interesting. I'll send you to put in the show notes. They thought that one reason Instagram is less bothersome than Twitter is because Instagram doesn't have reposts, basically. A lot of Twitter retweets are anger retweets.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely I learn a lot, especially about justice stuff or news through that, but it's also definitely part of what's very stressful about it. And since on Instagram I only follow body positive people and my friends, it's not stressful to scroll, and mostly people aren't posting angry things, and if they are, it's a very long passionate caption.
Totally, yeah.
As opposed to just a lol, this idiot.
Yeah, exclamation point.
Yeah, which sometimes is great or whatever. Anyways, and then I found these 2 machines that people have been using. There's one called the Light Phone, and they're coming out with a second one. It's shaped like an iPhone.
Okay.
And you can have your calls forwarded to it. So it's when you want to leave your phone at home, but be available for calls and stuff.
Wait, so it's a pager?
Basically, but you can talk on it.
Okay. Interesting.
It's and then they're making a second round one where they're going to add messaging. Interesting idea. They cost $250, and a lot of people have bought them.
Okay.
Then the second one is this thing that was originally called the Hemming Right.
Okay.
That's I fucking hate Hemingway. Sorry.
Okay.
The fucking worst.
Okay.
And it's basically it's a typewriter with a e-ink screen. And it costs $500.
Oh my gosh. I love this. The only way to unplug is to spend $1,000 more.
Yeah, and it's basically like you type on it and then it like sends to your Dropbox. It has like internet capability.
Okay.
It seems cool, but also, if anyone else is a writer out there, I already have this thing. It's called an Alpha Smart. You can get it on Amazon used. It's from the 80s. It's just a word processor. So it's just a keyboard with like a little screen at the top. I just take it to the coffee shop and just like type a first draft. And then I do have to connect it to my computer with like a cord.
Okay.
But it costs $32.
That sounds better.
Anyways, I've decided that I'm part of a movement that I'm calling Nouveau Luddite.
Oof.
So if you're a hashtag Nouveau Luddite, join my movement for sometimes unplugging.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Wow. How will you communicate with each other?
Well, it's that's why I have the light phone to like. It's only sometimes.
Oh man. All right. We also want to give a huge shout out to Team All Go.
Yeah.
They did it.
They did it. They're funded.
We getting that out. Amazing.
Soon I'll be able to go on and say like, rude waiters and my butt hung off the chair. Can't wait.
Oh, I cannot wait. I'm so proud of them. I'm so excited this is going to exist. I can't wait to use it.
It's going to be so good.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for reaching out to us, for partnering with us.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Now we're moving on to our Apple Podcast review shoutouts. You're tired of us saying it, but one day this will all pay off. When I'll announce we're on New and Noteworthy when we're in like season 10.
Oh, I cannot wait for that day. We're going to post a screenshot every hour on the hour on our Instagram story.
I'm going to text myself congratulations over and over so the confetti goes up in my iMessage. It's going to be great.
It's all I want.
Okay, so thank you so much to the following people for giving us a cute little review. Were they all nice reviews? Do you check?
Oh, we have not got a bad review on Apple Podcasts.
Okay, good.
Not one.
That's because the family's real.
Real. We roll deep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, too. It's me _ Did you mean Christy B or did you just copy and paste it?
I'm not sure.
It's me _ Christy B, Kel Flan, Hanny Word, Queer My Life, Grateful Gal Pal, GLSLP, Roxanne the Fish, Valdara, and Dance XXX Baby. Thank you all so much for writing those podcast reviews on Apple Podcasts. Android users, we love you too. Write us reviews on whatever app you're using to listen to this.
Yes, and then take a screenshot and tweet
send
it
to
at
us.
us. Yes, and we will see it.
Thank you.
And here are the shout outs from our lovely patrons. We got Jill Angie, Allison McConnell, Laura Beard, Meg Galasso, Melissa, Sasha Esquivel, and Melissa Catania. And now we have arrived in our correction/news corner, one of our many corners. As you've noticed, we have a lot of corners. We got a little helpful note from a listener at home that I'm going to read right now.
Okay.
Hey, all. I just wanted to shoot out a correction for something I heard in this week's episode, which would be 2 episodes back. I heard April use the word blind spot and also referred to crippling anxiety. These are such commonplace terms that can be hard to notice but are rooted in ableism. So this listener also sent a super helpful article that I'm going to link in the show notes with a list of ableist words and terms to avoid. So many of them,
There's so many.
like the ones that I obviously used in the episode, so many of them are just like, I wouldn't think twice about them, but then when you do think twice, you're like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's really hard. They're so embedded in how we talk.
They really are. So like we've been saying in this whole season, basically, making a conscious effort to not use those is super hard, and we're going to fuck up all the time. In this episode, we're going to call everyone guys like 45 more times, but we're trying our best. And really appreciate these. Yeah, so we're going to link that in the show notes, and please let us know how you're going in your journey to not say these terms that are hard not to say. The next apology in our apology corner, in our gratuitous apology corner, our next apology is a hashtag sorry Isabel. Isabel has been trying to engage Sophie and I in K-pop discourse for weeks now. I can't, like my brain can't, and I don't think I ever will get there. Sophie's been forcing herself, and either way it's like not what you're looking for, Isabel. So I just want to say like hashtag sorry Isabel, and if I do end up cutting this again, like once again, sorry Isabel.
But tweet at us if you like K-pop, and Isabel can talk to you about it. Isabel, post something in the Patreon Facebook group, and people who also love it will talk with you there. And I will watch one of those videos tonight, I promise.
There's so many. I don't know that you should say promise.
I will. She texted me a separate one.
Damn.
Okay. And now we're going to plop in our little Patreon scholarship info from before. We've had a couple people say that they want to help offer the perks of our Patreon membership to people who maybe can't afford the monthly commitment of a Patreon membership. So if that sounds like you, if you want to be part, especially if you want to be part of Team Paisley Moo Moo, which is $7 a month, and you want to be part of the Facebook group, but you cannot afford the $7 a month commitment to be part of the Facebook group, then fill out the form in the show notes and drop us a line and let us know that you would like to be considered for that scholarship, and we will try to match you with a sponsor who wants to be generous and kind. Okay, tip jar. This is your, I was going to say annual, but that's wrong. This is your weekly reminder about the Patreon Facebook group. This week, if you join Team Paisley Moo Moo, you will be added the following Monday. So today we just added a bunch of people. People are in there talking. Someone else is getting married. Everyone's getting married. Freaking congrats, you all. Anyways, a straight-sized person posted who just wanted to know if the sandals that were strappy that she chose could be uncomfortable for plus-size people, which I thought was, like, so thoughtful.
Super thoughtful. And also a good question, because I have a wide-ass, thick-ass foot.
I have, my boyfriend calls them hobbit feet. They're just, like, bricks.
Damn.
They're, like, flat on the bottom and very high on the top.
Jeez.
Send us pics of your fat feet. Okay. Actually, don't. I hate feet pics, but tweet at us if you also relate. Someone did this cute post today where they asked for people's Monday brags and weekly goals. I'm so proud of everyone. Someone else I noticed in there is doing some embroidery. I gotta message them about it.
It's popping in the FB group, y'all.
Also, just wanted to say, we got a little email today from a special listener, a self-identified boy member of the family. He was wondering if he was welcome to join the Patreon Facebook group. And I was like, number one, what a thoughtful question from a man, like, wanting to be like, hey, is it chill if I'm in this space?
Yes.
But number two, the answer is, like, yes, there are other men and, like, non-women, like, non-binary people and genderqueer people and stuff in the group. And, yeah, y'all are welcome. The podcast is, we're primarily for women and femmes, which means, like, as we talked about before, it's, like, a queer term. But, like, we're all part of the family. We love you guys.
Hell yeah.
We love you freaking all. Okay.
We love y'all fatties.
We love y'all fatties, boys and girls, and non-binary people, and everyone else.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, also in this tip jar, some little tips from other people. Number one, a doctor who has written to us a couple times. So here's one thing that they wrote in and said. I re-listened to the health episode. Number one, can I just pause right there?
Yes.
Wow.
People really are re-listening to us.
I have not re-listened to the health episode.
We don't need to, but love y'all for doing that.
Yeah.
I re-listen to my favorite pods. I listen to the read like 3 times a week.
I mean, but I don't know that I would have the wherewithal to re-listen to an episode, like, about chastising me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Okay, I re-listened to the health episode. Obviously, women are underrepresented in STEM fields. More interesting to me is that while the proportion of undergrad STEM degrees awarded to women is increasing slightly, that hasn't translated to medical school graduates, and more important, hasn't translated to medical research. I was trying to find if there had been any similar retrospection within the medical field on other marginalized bodies and people. There's at least some data, or at least reflection, with regards to queerness and race or ethnicity. One particularly scary statistic is only 1.1 of STEM PhDs awarded in the 2014-15 year were awarded to Black women. But I really could not find anything on fat bodies or really anything close. While there has been some pretty shoddy research on the effects of physicians' BMI in patient care, I literally could not find one mention anywhere of the possible effects of body-skewed medical publishing. I couldn't even find a descriptive mention of the possibility of different bodies behind the articles we read and cite.
Jeez.
So that's, like, so interesting and really validating that this person was like, man, maybe there is bias, and, like, also maybe we should be talking about who was doing research. And there's, like, no data on it. I've gotten several emails saying that the things we said about how we should maybe think about who is doing research is, like, fake because science is always real.
Oof.
Or, like, saying...
No, thank you.
Just like, no, science is done by people.
People are fallible. But the thing is, when people write in and say stuff like this, it's like, I know that it's really easy to refute everything we said because it's the opposite of what everyone else is saying. So if you're willing to engage with it and listen to it and look into it further, then thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And finally, just another rec from a listener for Julie Duffy Dillon, who is someone we've had mentioned several times before. We should email her and be like, our listeners love you.
Yes, absolutely.
So this person says, the podcast Don't Salt My Game with Laura Thomas, a non-diet nutrition podcast. We should link that in the show notes for sure. I'll try to listen to it. The latest episode had Julie Duffy Dillon on to talk about PCOS and a non-diet approach to healing. Her organization is called Food Peace. So shout out to those people.
Hell yeah. All right, that is it for our corners. We should really get to the meat of it, don't you think?
Let's do it.
The meat of it.
This week on the meat of it, we're doing our first episode on
exercise.
What character was that?
It was Eeyore. It's our highly requested exercise episode. In this episode, you'll find out Soph likes to exercise. I can do it.
Constantly when we're working, we like had a couple months last year where we worked like almost full time, meaning like 24 hours a day on the podcast. Ugh. And every couple hours I'd be like, do you want to go for a walk around the block? And April would be like, you can go.
I continue to drive around the corner to the Starbucks from Sophie's house, and then she gets mad and it's like, why don't you walk? And it's like, I don't enjoy. Well, so here's the thing we'll discuss in the episode. It's all about finding the method of exercise that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Just so happens I've tried all of them. There's about 2 I like.
I mean, yeah, so let's just say we do not believe in health as a moral goal.
Absolutely.
If you want to improve your health in the ways that you can control, then that's awesome. A lot of people want to do that. Some people aren't in a position to do that. Some people don't want to do or can't do things that would be like widely thought of as improving health, quote unquote. It's all fine. Mm-hmm. Nobody's here telling you have to exercise. Like, it's fine.
And we all know that, like, saying, go for a walk means something different for a bunch of different people. My mother she needs knee replacements and she's had bad knees. And I know that telling somebody go for a walk when you have horrible arthritis is, like, not realistic.
Yeah.
People have a variety of disabilities. So we're not here to shame you for not, exercising.
So what we're circling around is that there's this movement right now for, like, quote unquote wellness. And it's very fat phobic and it's very, like, it's kind of focused on surface health. Like, it doesn't really have anything to do with, like, are you taking care of you? Which has to do with, like, are you in healthy relationships? Are you in a healthy relationship with yourself? Mm-hmm. Are you eating foods that fuel your body?
Yes.
Are you able or willing or trying or thinking about moving in a way that you're capable of, that makes your body feel okay? Mm-hmm. Those things are all different for everyone.
Yes.
But the, like, image of the wellness movement is like, Hannah doing yoga. It is.
It's a thin, blonde, white woman doing a really complicated yoga inversion.
Yeah.
And then eating a yogurt.
And it's just, like, not really about what's actually good for you. And I think it's very intimidating, especially for people who want to be body positive or fat positive, because there's not a lot of conversation about health and wellness that's right for you. That's not like change yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, because if you really dig into wellness, which we've talked about in our previous, like, health and doctor and such episodes, wellness has really become synonymous for dieting, and we're talking about something totally different.
Yeah.
So we're here to kind of explore how can you, quote unquote, be well while also being body positive and also fat as hell. So shall we?
Let's do it. So what the forms of exercise do you like?
All right. So I'll tell my overview first. So I have experienced something that I think a lot of other fat people have experienced, where they had years and years where they used exercise as punishment. Yeah. So, like, I've been a runner by force. I used to do Pilates in high school by force. That was a fucking nightmare. I was forced to be on a basketball team as a child. Mother, I'm still resentful about that. I don't like sports. I've done every single type of exercise except for, like, climbing, like rock climbing. I won't do that. I value my life.
No.
So I've done all of them, and so for a long time, I still, like, would associate punishment and dieting and, like, forcing my body to do something I didn't want to do with exercise. So I spent a lot of time trying to separate that. And I'm also just lazy. I'm very lazy. I like to sit down I like to sit.
Everyone does.
I like to sit all the time. But the forms of exercise that I like are yoga. I really like, especially hot yoga, because I like when it's hot, even though climate change is bad. And I also just I just find it to be kind of like invigorating. I can take a walk, I guess. I like
You
walking.
don't. You don't like walks. Don't lie.
I don't like walking, but yeah, I will say like the forms of exercise that I have fun doing are like, yoga and.
It doesn't even have to be.
Oh, I
it's
had
not
fun. Yeah, I had fun doing kickboxing. I was just so tired afterwards.
I
Oh
hate
my god.
kickboxing.
Oh my god, it was exhausting.
so much.
It was so much. But I will say that like the time that I did go to kickboxing, I was like had a lot of pent up aggression, and afterwards I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like it really got it out. But
That's
yeah, for me,
awesome.
it's just about it's like about like leisurely stretching and spending time like being like, oh, I think my body can do this, but maybe so, maybe not, and then being surprised that it can, and feeling better afterwards. Because the days that I don't really want to exercise, but I still do, are because I'm interested in those like endorphins later on. Like that to me can make it worth it. But yeah, in general, I'm sitting, especially on the floor. That's kind of my overview. What
And
about
that's
you?
fine. I really thought of exercise as like something I wasn't doing right unless I was hurting. I also think that came from like gym classes where what they wanted me to do hurt.
The pacer test.
The pacer test, the presidential physical fitness test,
my
the
Lord.
mile, like all those things
The
were.
mile run.
It's so embarrassing. We've talked about this offline before, just like the feeling of being the last kid running up and the teacher makes people clap for you.
Oh my god.
fucking
So
worst.
patronizing. It burns into your brain. Think about that. Those experiences are for me 18 years away, and it's still very much fresh.
awful.
I hear the buzzer from the pacer test when I close my eyes.
Oh my God.
I can
It's
hear
awful.
it. It was very bad.
So those things were bad. And then I was not body positive, but I had a proto body positive moment when I joined swim team because I went to a very small high school and they just like literally needed bodies. So even though I was like so bad, like lost every single relay, nobody was ever mean to me.
Yeah.
They were all so nice, even if they weren't nice to me like outside of the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
they like
totally.
tried to make it a team.
They're trying to be team players.
They tried.
Yeah.
And it would just be me last and they'd be like, well,
God damn it. Oh my
but
god.
what I found is that I loved the warm-up time of practice, which was just like 20 laps of freestyle. Just my brain got so quiet during it and it was so nice.
Yeah.
Just this like repetitive motion and just like moving and your body doesn't feel heavy in the water. Like I hate running.
Yeah.
I will not run.
No.
You cannot pay me to run. But in the water, you can't sweat really. Like you sweat, but it's like
it comes
you're in the
around.
water. And you feel light, and I like the way my body feels moving in the water. And it was like this totally new experience for me. Our friend Nina and I are going to try some boxing classes because I was thinking recently, like, number one, I'm clumsy. Number two, I'm bad at sports. Number three, I don't really care about sports. And so I always felt just kind of hulking in a bad way.
Yes.
Whereas sporty girls, like, seem like they can own their muscles and bigness. Do you know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
And so I was like, maybe if I do boxing, I can like leverage my weight to my advantage.
It will be to your advantage.
And
yeah.
I've never done boxing before, so I don't have any like scars.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see your little hands in some boxing gloves.
I'm so pumped.
Oh my god,
I'm gonna do
that's
some
gonna be
boxing.
great.
Yeah. So if you're in LA, I know about this gym I really want to go to called the Everybody Gym. They also have this thing there. We're gonna link in the show notes. Fat Kid Dance Party, which is hosted by Bevan Brandlandingham, which is just like a bunch of people dancing and exercising that way, which also seems very fun.
Oh yeah, dance. I forgot about dancing.
love dancing.
I love dancing. Dancing is so much fun. We will link to all these things in the show notes. I've especially heard people are always raving about Everybody Gym.
Yeah,
Apparently
it's
they
supposed to
have
be really good.
it's supposed to be really fun, and they have lots of different pricing options for a bunch of different types of people.
They're
which
very
is super
justice
cool.
oriented, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's move on. We're going to do kind of a little mini exercise mailbag, and hopefully we'll address some issues that might be common to some of our family about exercise.
All right, so y'all know what to do. Send those voice memos to FYI@she'sallfatpod.com. Keep them 1 minute max. And don't forget to send us some fun ones. Once again, I want to be asked what my favorite episode of the Lizzie McGuire show is. I might say it's a season 2 finale when she graduates from junior high school and she kisses Gordo on the cheek in the class photo. I'm just saying.
Mine is when they go for a bra.
Oh, yeah. I want a bra. We want a bra. Anyway,
Anyways,
question 1.
We have some questions. Okay, here's a question from Hannah. I teach group fitness classes, and as you can imagine, gym culture is not very body positive. My question is, what can I do to make my space even more body inclusive? I purposefully never mention calories burned or, quote, trouble zones, and make my coaching about pushing you to do your best and celebrating your effort. If there's anything else I can be doing to make people with fat bodies feel empowered to move those beautiful bodies and feel great doing it, please let me know. Okay, and then there's another question we wanted to combine with this one. So this is from a different Hannah. How, in the body positive movement, do you take something that has traditionally been a weapon for discrimination against marginalized bodies and make it a tool for empowerment without being seen to, quote, cop out or be preachy? After all, movement in some form is essential to life. You hear that, April? And
Cannot believe you. All right, mother, essential to life.
And can be pretty fun. And it would be a shame to allow the, quote, I'm fat, therefore I reject exercise trope to win out, although perfectly legitimate if true. Also, as a disclaimer, though I am not currently fat, I do know what it is like to live inside a marginalized female body. Put it this way, in a primary school Harry Potter adaptation.
Get through it, Sophie.
I just love this Hannah so much. In a primary school Harry Potter adaptation, I was cast as Hagrid. And though I did not specifically audition for the role, I was gunning for Hermione. I like to think I imbued the character with a certain distinction and gravitas.
Iconic. I think honestly, like, that is a sign. Are you okay? That truly is the telltale sign if you belong to the family. Like, would you have been cast as Hagrid in a school play?
Oh my god.
If the answer is yes, you would have been cast as Hagrid, you belong in the family. Anyway, back to our hand.
I'm so sorry. I just like that end of the letter. I've read it out loud several times. It makes me laugh so hard. It's just so iconic.
It just feels real.
It's relatable.
Right. It's relatable.
It's just exactly the indignities of having like a slightly larger or slightly different body in middle school or whatever. It's just like, yeah.
Wait, here's what comes to mind. Always the Hagrid, never the Hermione.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
I mean, while the Hermiones all want to be lavender brown, and it's just like, get over it, Hermione, you're fine. No,
okay,
don't worry about it.
We're ready.
Anyways, I love both of you Hannahs so much. Okay, so these are both straight size Hannahs or not fat Hannahs. I really love that both of you are thinking about like, how can we make exercise body positive? Because like we just talked about, it's really hard with the way it gets talked about.
Absolutely.
For the first Hannah, as a like instructor, if you're doing classes, I think it would be really cool at the top of class to just be like, hey, this is a body positive space. We're here to make your body move, and you know your own limits, and I'm here to encourage you to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Like, just kind of a blanket thing would make me feel really safe.
Totally. I've been to so many like exercise classes where I feel like everyone's staring at me.
Yeah.
Where the instructor comes over and tries to like alter the way that I'm doing something
in an awkward
way and isn't paying attention to anyone else.
Or they start out with like, let's get those summer bodies, bitches.
Yeah, which like,
it's like
look,
stop.
My summer 2018 body is gonna be the same body in these Swifts.
Same as my winter 2017 body. So
what makes me feel comfortable is when people say things like, oh, all stages of exercise, like if you're welcome, like if you're super advanced or if you're just starting, it's all fine, and like you call me over if you want to help with your form or whatever, but just like do what you do.
Or if you say alterations at the same time as saying the move, so it's not specifically directed at someone, so you could say like, here's 2 ways to do this move.
Totally, that's super helpful.
If you have control of the space, you could do something like make sure that the posters or whatever show different kinds of bodies.
Totally. Which I've never seen.
Yeah. You could, if you have a gym that sells clothing, fitness clothing, try to encourage them to stock different sizes.
Absolutely.
I've never been to a gym that carries leggings for above like a 10.
No, never.
I'm always like, aren't you always shaming me into getting in here? What am I supposed to wear?
So confusing. They're like, oh, you wanted?
Yeah, like, I thought you told me I had to.
Yeah.
I feel very safe in a class if a teacher is going to say, like, the thing they're doing for you instead of it being, like, push yourself to burn that fat.
Absolutely.
Like, making it clear that your focus is, like, I'm going to show you how to use your body in a empowered and strong way.
Yeah, and how is this going to serve your body instead of how am I going to help you push, quote, past your limit?
I hate that
Love
language.
instructors who are like, your limits are your limits. I'm not here to push you. I don't need some dude sweating on me telling me, 2 more. Yeah. You got to feel it.
I
don't ever want to feel anything.
I think some
don't touch me.
Love that. I hate it.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. And I would say just keep being super thoughtful. Like the fact that you're even thinking about how to be intentional about this stuff shows that I bet people do feel super comfortable in your classes.
Exactly. Modeling something is a good way to avoid being preachy, I think. So you can just say like, I love how exercise makes me feel X. I love how this motion, this class feels very friendly.
And I also think describing how each movement helps you have pride in your body, because I think the most body positive thing you can do is be like, my body did this for me and I'm so proud of it and I'm so happy about it. So if you can say like, hey, I like lifting weights because I love how my body surprises me every time. To me, that feels very body positive.
And also a challenge to both of you. Fatness isn't the only intersection of, body positivity. I would also really love to see more gyms be open and accepting to different kinds of either like, I don't know how people like to be identified right now.
Differently able?
Yeah, I don't think that's the right one. Like if you're differently abled, if you're disabled, if you are someone who uses a wheelchair, or if you're someone who is not in the like stereotypical exercise body, I think a lot of gyms are very intimidating spaces and very unwelcoming. And so it would be cool if in addition to welcoming fat bodies, you welcomed other intersections of like marginalized bodies. Also, like who knows how much power they have at the gyms that they work at. But just being like, oh, how could we also make this approachable and inclusive for more kinds of bodies? Okay, let's move on to question 2. This is from a 16-year-old Hannah. High school Hannahs, I'm here for you. I love you.
Love y'all, Hannahs.
I'm so glad you listen.
We have a 14-year-old Hannah.
I cannot believe.
Shouts.
Please don't do anything I do. But like, I love you.
All right. High school Hannah. Let's do this. My soccer team consists of mostly really skinny girls and me and a couple other chubby girls. But as they have most of their weight on their thighs and butts, they get away with being thick and aren't judged openly like I am. Even though I am very dedicated and determined in my position and have played on the team for 2 seasons, they don't treat me like I'm doing well and I'm a valuable team member. They always make comments like, you look like you've lost weight, as if I'm only there to lose weight and not to just play sports and stay fit. On top of this, they always look at their own bodies and say, ew, I'm getting fat, or I need to lose weight, I'm disgusting. I know they probably don't see how harmful these comments are or how ignorant they're being, but it's so hard to cope. How can I cope with juggling anxiety, school commitments, this negativity about my weight from my doctors and peers?
Number 1, amazing that you're on the soccer team and you're like fighting for this.
Hell yeah. Soccer's a hard sport, so clearly you're like a tough ass chick. Also, I think high school Hannah is getting at some discourse that we can totally do a future episode on, which is body composition.
Yeah.
Like I think it's totally fair that if you're chubby but with an hourglass figure, you might not get like bullied or talked down to the same way as if you have a different body shape.
Oh yeah.
Just totally fair.
Big tummy fatties. Hey.
Hey, what's up? Listen, high school Hannah, I totally feel you, especially also about the comments about like thin girls talking about their calling themselves fat or whatever.
So annoying.
This really used to piss me off in high school so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, not only are you talking down about my body, but you're also being unrealistic.
And also they would say it and then like look at you as to be like, right?
And you're supposed to be like, yeah, my body's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
So irritating.
It's awful.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say just like number 1, depends if they're friends or frenemies. You know what I mean?
Sounds like frenemies.
If they're actually friends, if there's a couple you think are friends, you could just be like, hey, that comment's kind of hurtful and I don't think there's anything wrong with my body. And just see, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you have to go full, like, educational course.
No.
I think you could just be like, hey, could you not?
Totally.
Like, in a chill way. You know?
Maybe, or even little statements like, hey, I love playing soccer. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not here to lose weight. And I understand that, especially when you're up against a group, like that might be super hard.
Yes.
And so don't get down on yourself if there are days where they make a side comment and you don't have it in you to be like, fuck you. Like, I know that that's hard. But the days that you do feel strong enough and you do feel like, okay, I'm ready to say this, one little comment, and especially if you're a teen girl, it'll ring around in their head for the rest of the day. And they're going to feel like shit, and then they'll knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, like, congrats to you for playing for 2 seasons and being, as you say, a dedicated and determined player. I think, like, it's so cool that you know your worth at the very least. You know what I mean? Like, I'm proud of you, and I hope that, like, eventually they see. But also, like, I think what April's saying is totally right. If you can continue to just say kind of I statements of like, I like what I did today.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to directly respond if they're like, oh, did you lose weight? You're like, I got stronger this weekend or whatever, you know?
Totally. And it's a hard lesson to learn, but I'm glad you're getting into it young, which is like sometimes you're going to do great at something and constantly be improving and be incredible, and no one's going to tell you you're good.
Yeah.
Like no one around is going to take the time to acknowledge that. And so you have to find a way to acknowledge that for yourself and be proud enough in yourself, because sometimes people are just shitty.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make you any less of a great player and an awesome student and a cool ass chick, you know?
And you can, at the very least, if they don't get it, you could just say, hey, could we not talk about weight?
Yeah.
As for your last question, juggling anxiety, school commitments, and like negativity about your weight from doctor and peers, can't say that I have a personally great response to that, because my answer was disordered eating and depression.
Also, mine was go on every single diet.
But honestly, like if you're listening to this podcast, you're thinking about this, I think you're already doing better than we did.
Yes, absolutely. It's super hard being a teen. Like the answer is it's super hard. I think the best you can cope is just, first of all, practicing a lot of self-care, cutting yourself a lot of slack, and, you know, walking away from the bullshit.
Taking it one day at a time. You're doing great, and I'm really proud of you. And like, tell us more about what position you play, because like, do you still wear those cool knee socks? Those were cool. The cleats?
They would never stay up on my thick thighs.
No,
never.
And there weren't any that fit me.
You're doing great, high school Hannah. Keep us posted.
Okay, next question.
Hey, April and Sophie. This is Hannah. I was hoping you all could talk about body positivity in fitness settings. I know that Sophie's mentioned her experiences at the gym before, and I have encountered many times in group fitness classes the instructor using a lot of language perpetuating diet culture, talking a lot about burning calories or getting your body ready for summer and things like that. And I feel like not everyone, like myself, is there to lose weight. Some of us are there to help improve our mental health through the good chemicals you get through exercise, or just to feel strong. And that experience can be kind of alienating and potentially turn off a person from ever wanting to exercise at that place again, or to do group fitness in general. So I hope you all will talk about this. Thanks. Bye.
So this Hannah is basically asking from the other side of the instructor. Hannah's like, as a gym attender, what can you do? This is a harder one. This is honestly part of the reason that, like, I don't do a lot of group classes is because I get tired of all the little comments about, like, this is a great thigh buster. I'm like,
or your butt's going to be so perky.
you know, I'm like, you know what? You can't get rid of cellulite.
Jeez.
It's there forever. Anyways, if you're lucky enough to be near a gym, like everybody, you know, like go there. Not everyone is.
No, I think it's similar to our therapy discussion, which is like, you know the type of exercise you like, you go to the class, you got to feel it out. If the vibe is totally off, if you're feeling super alienated, if the instructor repeatedly is doing this like beach body, summer body, feel it, whatever, push past your limit bullshit, then you have to go. And like, it's first of all super expensive to do that. Super time consuming, can be really daunting after a while. But sometimes I feel like I've had this experience where I find a class where like I click with the instructor, I really like the vibe of the class, and I like the way that my body is moving. It can be worth it, but it will take some time just kind of figuring it out, I think.
Yeah, and there are also people who are like almost there who are not quite there, who like, and you can kind of tell that vibe. So if you like wanted to go up to them after class and be like, hey, I love your instruction. It would make me feel so comfortable in class if you could keep the like calorie talk to a minimum. Like, I'm just trying to be here and feel comfortable in my body, and as somebody who blah, that feels really alienating to me. And just see if they're open to it. I bet like some people will be, some people will not be, because
not a Soul Cycle.
No, definitely not.
Happening.
You know, a lot of exercise instructors, they get enjoyment and fulfillment in their jobs from feeling like they're helping people feel and do their best. So if you go up and you're like, here's what would help me feel and do my best, then there's probably a bunch who would be open to it.
Absolutely. And also, there are a lot of exercise instructors, if you don't want to take your time to take the whole class before you find out if the vibe works for you, a lot of them are on Instagram and have like other lives as like exercise lifestyle people.
Yeah.
So you could DM them and be like, hey, what's the vibe of your class like? Are you weight loss focused just because this is what I'm looking for? And see if they respond and see if they're willing to engage. I've DM'd a yoga instructor in the past.
Have you really?
Yeah, and been like, are you going to be on that bullshit? And keep us posted on this, Hannah. And also, if you have an instructor who is open to figuring out how to be more body positive but isn't quite there yet, maybe send them this episode.
Yeah, tell them to listen.
Perhaps, yeah.
Okay. Next.
Hi, April and Sophie. I've got a problem. I'm a fat athlete who is 10 years in recovery from an eating disorder and binge exercising disorder, and I've devoted a lot of time and energy to developing healthier relationship with my body and exercise. I'm finally at a place where I can do distance running, and I don't obsess about food or slide from running because I love to run to running because if I don't run, I'm a bad person. And for the first time I can ever remember in my whole life, I feel comfortable and happy in my fat body. In fact, I was doing so well that I decided to enter a trail marathon to challenge myself. My preparation's going great, but now, several weeks from race day, I'm starting to have serious anxiety because I know I'm likely to be the only fat person on course. My partner and friends will be there to support me at the beginning and the end, but there's a lot of miles where I won't have support. Running and finishing a marathon for any person is an amazing achievement, but I know there will be serious fat shaming and patronizing comments directed at me, especially because for many distance runners, running is just another form of toxic diet culture. I'm so proud of myself and how far I've come on my journey through recovery, and I feel like finishing this race is a way for me to celebrate that and to celebrate my body and my survival. Do you have any tips to help me claim my space here?
Shouts to athlete Hannah.
Number one. Hannah, I gotta know what your accent's from.
We really tried to figure it out for
tried.
like several minutes. Clue us in.
Let us know. Hannah, it's so cool that you're doing this, that you are processing your feelings and anxieties about it, and that you are trying to find ways to approach those anxieties. Like, you're killing it.
And being super intentional about the difference in how you're approaching exercise this time.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important thing.
I truly have such great respect for anyone who loves running.
Ugh, yeah.
And I admire you for, pushing to, keep claiming something that you love and feel strong in. I think, it's hard because some of these are spaces that we just won't be able to control or change. You're not going to be able to, strangers at a marathon. It's going to suck a little bit.
No, marathon culture, as you already know, totally exists and can be super toxic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knowing that it's going to happen is one thing, and maybe having some mantras. I wonder if it would help to acknowledge that you feel a little bit separated from this group. Mm-hmm. It's painful, definitely, to be like, oh, I'm different from people here, and there's going to be judgment, and it's hard to not feel like you're totally accepted and you're totally part of it. But I wonder if it might help to say, yeah, I'm not totally the average marathon runner. I don't have the body that everyone else here is going to have, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
It might help a little bit.
I also think maybe similar to what Sophie and I have talked about in the past about looking at body positive people on Instagram, and then it sort of changes our mindset. I've been seeing a lot lately of fat runners,
Yes.
Being in the media and being interviewed for the same thing you're describing, which is people expect that I can't move my body, or people expect that I'm trying to lose weight, but in reality I'm just having fun and like my body as it is.
Yeah.
So we'll link as many as I can find in the show notes to people who are doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
And so even though day of you might feel alienated, it might make you feel a little bit better to just think and be like, okay, there's other people who are doing the same thing as me, and they found a way to feel comfortable in that. So maybe you can get there too.
I feel like this is a not often talked about part. But anytime there's a fat or larger athlete, I'm like, do people realize how much stronger you are?
Absolutely.
Not in a and you are more powerful than you know. But fat people who exercise are literally carrying more pounds than people who are. And that is hard.
It's harder, right?
It's harder.
It's just true.
You're so strong. You're doing great.
You're doing great.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
We see you. If you're comfortable, we would love to see photos day
Yes.
of. We love you. Keep us posted. I hope you have an incredible marathon. All right, let's move on.
This is just a Hannah who wanted to tell us some tips.
Can't wait.
Hi, Sophie and April. I'm Hannah, and I'm a straight-size ally who struggled with food disorders. Finding a workout routine that works for you can be difficult. Anytime I try a new class and the instructor's like, let's get those summer bodies, I'm like, LOL, nope, not for me, and I don't come back. If my goals don't align with the instructor, then I'm out. Every gym has its own culture, so keep trying out new ones until you find one that fits. Or maybe working out at home ends up being your thing. For me, I like a class environment at a small box, locally owned gym. The members and instructors are always motivating and welcoming. They can modify any workout to accommodate different levels, injuries, or disabilities. Small, locally owned ones tend to be more personal. Sometimes my class buddies and I will text each other to motivate each other to show up. If I'm not in for a week or two, the owner will call me and make sure I'm okay. Just find out what works for you. Fitness culture is rife with body negativity. Tread carefully and always stay sure of yourself, because there will be people who say some dumb shit. Try everything unabashedly, but don't fight your body. If running ends up being torture on your knees, try swimming. If your body does start to change, anticipate people at work, family, friends saying things like, wow, you look great. Have you lost weight? When people say this to me, I try to simply respond with, I feel great, because that reframes the topic to how I feel versus how I look. And lastly, find a sport that your body lends itself well to. I'm going to plug roller derby here because my team needs more members. In roller derby, the more diverse the body types are in a team, the stronger it is. Give it a try. Or I guess softball or dancing or soccer. Try anything and everything, but especially try roller derby.
Well, to wrap up, try to find the exercise that suits you and makes you feel strong. If you want to sit on the couch and not exercise, that's chill too. Try to find spaces that are body positive and not focus on, quote, that summer bod, because hashtag what summer bod? Hashtag this gut comes with me to the beach.
Hashtag beach gut.
Hashtag beach gut. It is what it is. And I'm fine with
Tag
it.
us on Instagram with your hashtag beach gut.
We want to see that beach gut, baddies. And we're all doing our best.
Oh my gosh. Exercise is like a complicated thing for a lot of us. It's something that I have to continually work on my relationship with exercise, just like I'm working on my relationship with food, with my own body image, with the way that my body moves through the world. So if you don't feel like exercising, if it's too mentally hard, like everyone has their own shit to work through with their body, and exercise is literally just being in touch with your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like it's hard and it's okay to have a difficult relationship with it. And if you want to try more, I hope that we gave you a few tips. And if you don't, like whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't care.
Don't care. Doing our best. Move if you want to move. Sit if you want to sit.
Yeah.
Keep moving, keep grooving, keep sitting.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Today's episode is sponsored by Tomboy X. The seasons are changing, so should your underwear.
They offer tons of different options in sizes extra small to 4X, and they carry loungewear, activewear, and underwear. From bikinis to briefs to boxer briefs to trunks and boy shorts, Tomboy X has got you covered.
Their activewear line is made from eco-friendly fabrics that are quick dry and moisture wicking, making their products ideal for swimming, working out, adventuring, or all three.
I recently did a photo shoot rocking my iconic briefs and essential soft bra in white. Not only did I feel fully supported, but I also felt cute as hell.
You were.
Thank you.
This is our new code. Go to tomboyx.com/SAF15 and check out their special bundles and pack pricing. She's All Fat listeners get an extra 15% off with code SAF15. Again, code SAF15 for an extra 15% off. Ditch whatever you're wearing for a pair of Tomboy X underwear. Go to tomboyx.com/SAF15.
Now let's move on to It's Okay You Can Ask, a segment that prompted at least 20 of you to send us tweets pitching white auntie types in the last week.
We'll find the answers to our burning questions like, who is Offset and what did he do wrong? I know this now because we talked about at the top. It's Cardi B's fiance.
Or, why are there white people on Twitter putting raisins in mac and cheese?
I don't believe you. This is...
I have links.
I'm telling you, there are some times when I think that Black Twitter is making stuff up to make fun of white people.
We're literally retweeting white people and being like, look at what they did.
Sometimes I feel like it's just the movie White Chicks that you've like made up. Just made shit up.
I wish I could make up someone doing that.
Raisins
They're
in
doing
mac
it.
And cheese.
They're doing it. I have the tweets, Sophie.
No.
I have the tweets. Anyway, it's your turn. I can't wait. Take it away.
Okay. My question is the whitest of all questions I've ever asked.
I'm ready.
My question happened because I was thinking about Lil Yachty.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, like, if there's a good source for understanding where rap names come from.
A good source.
Honestly, 80s rap names make more sense to me because they tend to be, it's like Method Man. I'm like, oh, okay, I get that.
Like that, he has a method?
Yeah. Or like, he's just like, it's like, sounds like more of like a superhero name. Or like Red Run.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like a name sounding thing. It's like he wanted to convey something.
Yeah.
With it. I start to lose it with like DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Wait, why not? His name's Jeff. He's jazzy.
That's so weird.
I don't think that there's many more that are so out of the box.
But when we get to like Lil Yachty, I'm like, I don't understand what's up. Are there like
I don't either.
But are there like you know, movements of like the way things are named? Like, is there like tight, you know what I mean? Because like Method Man and that cohort, those are very different kinds of names than like what's up now.
Yeah. Which
like,
is like
even like Flo Rida, which took me years, by the way, to understand it was like Florida.
I'm in shock right now. I will not comment on that at this time.
But that's like a totally different style. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so I think this is a really funny question. Basically, at the core of your question, it's like, where do these new names come from, and like what is the transition?
Well, because like there's clearly something that white people are missing, because white rappers, you can always tell they missed the mark. Or even non-white rappers, but just not black rappers. Like Aquafina, that's not a black person. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But
so like, I'm like, where's the inside info?
Okay, so here's a quote I have to perfectly summarize how I and many other people feel about these new naming conventions. So I'm just going to read you this little snippet.
Okay.
As much fame as Lil Yachty, 21 Savage, and Lil Uzi Vert have gained since XXL's annual freshman cover, which is a hip-hop magazine, they're still not known to everyone in the rap game. Lil Wayne, for example, was recently asked what he thought of the new crop of rappers in an interview with the New York Times. Not only did he have an opinion on them, he didn't even know who they were. Here's a quote. "I swear to God, I didn't know you were saying people's names just now. So that should probably answer that question," Wayne answered. "I just do my own thing." Which I think perfectly like describes it, in that a lot of people think that we all understand what's happening when it comes to these rap names. Literally, Lil Wayne, who was like the king of rap for a long time, is like, Lil Yachty? 21 Savage?
Yeah.
Like, we also don't know what's going on.
Or
what's
the name of that white rapper from Cleveland? The one, Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh, God.
Like that kind of thing?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Like that's like a literal old time gangster reference.
Please tell me where Lil Uzi Vert would come from.
I have no idea. But it is like there's a point I can track it. Like there's a era when everyone is doing dog related names.
Yes, absolutely.
Snoop Dogg,
Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow. And there's like a lot of DJ, whatever. We discussed this before.
Yes.
But yeah, now that I was like, I saw someone called Lil Yachty on a cover thing, and I was like, huh?
I also
Who's that?
do not know, because it's different from Lil Wayne. His name is Wayne.
Right.
Lil Yachty's name is not Yacht.
Like, it makes more sense. I don't know.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Even like Cardi B is like a made up name, but like there's an origin story for it.
Yeah.
You know?
And like also that's what she would go by for a long time before she became a rapper. But yeah, I mean, my guess is that it's just like people really trying to distinguish themselves, because there really is no more like trends. Like the Lil era, Lil, your actual name era is sort of over, and people are just like pulling shit out.
Yeah.
Like 21 Savage, literally he was like, oh, like I was 21 and I was a savage. It's like,
that doesn't make any sense.
and now he's 26 and you're still called 21 Savage.
That's like how I chose my AIM screen name.
It literally is that.
Which was like Sophie 17, because I thought it'd be cool to be 17.
My rap name would be Lil Thickums. And yours would be DJ Feelings.
Oh, okay. I'm the one that just stands in the back going like this. Like waving my hand.
But it would be on beat, for sure.
I actually think my rap name would be Wizard Beats with a Z.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I'm interested in the name thing because I feel like it's something that is used as like a racist caricature a lot. But I was just wondering if there's like meaning.
I mean, everyone has their personal, like, you know, the first paragraph on everyone's Wikipedia will tell you why. All right. That's it. That's all I got.
And that's our show. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to the stuff we mentioned today. And don't forget to send your questions via email or voice recording to FYI@shesallfatpod.com.
Please make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's super important in making sure people find the show. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, we'll give you a shout out on the pod next week.
She's All Fat is created, produced, and hosted by us, Sophie Carter-Kahn and April K. Quio. We are an independent production. If you'd like to support the work we do, you can join our Patreon by visiting patreon.com/shesallfatpod. When you pledge to be a supporter, you'll get all sorts of goodies and extra content. This week, we're posting more information, resources, and readings about rap names just for our Patreon supporters.
Our music was composed and produced by Carolyn Pennypacker Riggs. Our website was designed by Jesse Fish, and our logo is by Britt Scott. This episode was mixed and edited by Maria Wertel. Our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handles are @She'sAllFatPod. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and wherever else you get your pods. Bye!
I treach? So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are we gonna get through this because you just said treat?
Yes, it is gonna be 3 hours. I'm so sorry. Ready?
No.
You ready now? Okay.